Chill out, dickwad.
Greetings. So I finally got round to Terminator Dark Fate. First, a recap. Back in the 80s, a naked Austrian bodybuilder came back in time to mess with the timeline and stop the puny humans in the future from killing his Skynet boss because they're miffed that he'd started World War III for a laugh and then tried to exterminate him for not laughing at the prank. The bodybuilder had iffy hair, killed Bill Paxton and the alien bounty hunter from X-Files, got in a car crash that suddenly made him look cool, and he hunted down Sarah Connor while this resistance fighter Kyle Reese from the future tried to stop him, but couldn't catch her because he's too fat. You agree, Arnie?
Fuck you, asshole.
Charming. So, the humans put him on this explosive gasoline diet and he finally comes out of the closet as a machine. After he gets in touch with and embraces his inner machineness, he continues hunting Sarah Connor, but only manages to waste Kyle. Sarah finally has enough of his crap and squishes him so she can turn him into a nice bulletproof throw rug. Now that's a classy interior accent piece. So Sarah has Kyle's kid, who turns out to actually be the future resistance leader who takes down Skynet. Temporal plot twist. Trying to change the past actually established the future it was trying to change. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This time, an Austrian action hero comes back to protect Sarah's Sprague while liquid tinfoil tries to kill him. Temporal plot twist. Sending back the first Terminator not only resulted in Kyle fathering the dude Skynet wanted dead, but its busted CPU was the inspiration that resulted in creating Skynet in the first place. Whoa. But then they erased the timeline that created all this unhappiness in the first place. And then we have Rise of the Machines. Why? Well, you see, there was no real sense of closure in the previous movie. The characters had so much left to do. It was an ambiguous arc in Judgment Day, and it left everyone really disappointed, wondering what would happen next. Salvation did give us some decent fight scenes, I guess, like this fun little dust-up. And then there was Genesis, which was an artful, skilled reboot of the franchise that treated the subject matter with respect and only elevated it to new, thrilling heights of excellence that understandably was superbly received by audiences. Then along comes Dark Fate. Having seen the direction of this franchise, I was, shall we say, a tad dubious about this one. But I did hear an okay review here and there, so I gritted my teeth, poured a very generous vodka and orange. Machines, screwdriver, seems appropriate. Now, here be spoilers. The credits have barely left your eyes when they kill off John Connor. Remember how everyone gave a standing ovation to Fincher for killing off Newton Hicks in the credits for Alien 3? How every fan of Aliens thought this was the greatest bloody movie decision ever made? I'm amazed they opted for this, and can see why this alone sent people into an F this movie spiral from the outset. When a film kicks you in the teeth and laughs at your pain as soon as credits are done, that's a tough sell, says I. I've seen complaints about Danny. How the hell is she supposed to be the new Sarah Connor? Well, let's just remember that this was not always Sarah Connor. Let's take a little look at some highlights from the kick-ass mother of the saviour of humanity's military resume. Here she is storming a Skynet hardpoint and commanding the ragtag human stragglers and inspiring undying fealty with her ability to recall who gets the burly beef. And her intuition that a Terminator is much like a wolf or a bear or that Brazilian tribe from the Rundown where you just stare them down, rock style. I know, if I sit really still with this dot on my forehead and don't blink, maybe this guy will think I'm already dead and go away. So, let's just say Danny doesn't have to live up to much at this point. All she has to do is not get shot, because she is the hunted. There is an equation for a Terminator movie. Hunted, hunter, protector, temporal plot twist. Danny is the same as Sarah in the first one. Working gal, blissfully ignorant that she's a huge cog in the future war and it will take some time to convince her of this. The defender in this movie is Grace, a resistance fighter, one who has been augmented to be able to go toe-to-toe with a machine but only in short bursts. Basically Kyle from Terminator 1 spliced with a burst of Arnie in Terminator 2. She's Bruce Lee, scrawny stroke ripped, which considering the calories she's burning in these nitro bursts is appropriate. She's pretty wooden, but then everyone in the future had such a social life to develop all those people skills in the lush, densely populated, merry playgrounds of the future, or to tune into relatable educational content in the comfort of their own home. The hunter in this one is a Terminator from a new AI called Legion. It was mentioned in Rise of the Machines that...
But we stopped Judgment Day.
You only postponed it. Judgment Day is inevitable.
And so time might be as was suggested in Farscape. Take it away, Scorpy.
Well, modern research points to the elasticity of time rather than a brittle framework.
Can it be corrected?
If nudged closely enough to course, events have a way of restructuring themselves. If the participants are the same, the venue's the same, and the motivation's the same, then, well, the outcome is likely to be the same.
An AI that turns on humanity is always going to happen, so the best we can do is ride it out, win, and learn from our mistakes. This was the only thing I wasn't thrilled about with Terminator 2, because the first Terminator ended with the gathering storm. The war is coming, it's going to be long and brutal, but humanity will prevail. Hey Arnie, chime in here mate.
It's in your nature to destroy yourselves.
Sorted. At least with the war against the machines, we finally unite and get our collective crap together. With Skynet gone, we'll just wipe ourselves out via some other horror, and there won't be a John Connor there to get us in line. So for me, Terminator 3 made Terminator 2 even better by establishing that Judgment Day is as inevitable as Hollywood actors stroking themselves heavily when collecting their reward. So the Terminator here is a Rev 9, which is a T-1000 spread over an emaciated T-800, and it can operate separately as both Goo Boy and Metal Lad. We have a hunter, we have a hunted, and we have a protector. But oops! Sarah shows up and starts busting heads, throwing an explosive-tipped monkey wrench into this finely oiled trope. Someone has been feeding her info on Terminators as they appear, and she has been taking them out. John's dead, so this is her new retirement plan. So if I recall my Red Dwarf...
Well, it'll take a few seconds for the timelines to sort themselves out, and then we'll see if it's worked.
So, Skynet sends back a T-800 to waste Sarah, and pauses, waiting for the timeline to sort itself out. But...
God damn it.
Skynet then sends a T-1000 back to waste John when he was a kid, and then waits to see what happens with the timeline.
Still nothing? Are you kidding me? Why are the humans not dead? They must have reprogrammed one of my Terminators to help them out. That's cheating. Oh, it makes me so mad. Okay, I'll send a TX and go for his lieutenants then. Why have they software now? Didn't that used to be a defense computer?
Oh dear, maybe another T-800 at John. How about just after when the T-1000 botched the job?
Success? No, wait, the humans still aren't dead. Why have everything called Legion? Anywho, eat Rev 9, you annoying hairy meat sacks.
But who's been blabbing about the Terminators? The gang jump in the mystery machine and locate Carl. Yep, the Terminator that had John smoke the 12-gauge ganja at the start of the film. Seems he's been pondering what he did all these years and doing that learning thing. So they introduce Danny to firearms and off they go for the final confrontation. And here's the twist. She isn't the mother of the future leader. She is the future leader. Sarah gets to use all that combat teacher and experience not to get Danny's sprog ready to rumble, but to get her to take up the mantle John Connor's retroactive abortion brought about. The main accusation I've heard against this is the feminist Terminator thing Cameron spouted, but gender is irrelevant here. There's hunted, hunter, protector. So whether they're male, female, enhanced, cyborg, whatever. It's like any good sci-fi. Until it's pointed out, you don't realise colour or gender because people have their role to define them. Be it captain of a starship or a space station, a peacekeeper prowler pilot, the head of the human resistance against the machines, an ice guide brought in on an ancient alien grudge match, a Martian marine, or a space trucker who's gotten in a bit of a bind. They really need to get actors to shut the hell up. I mean seriously, add to their contracts. Until it comes out on DVD, thou shalt caulk it. You're tarnishing the movie and we all go in expecting to get lectured, and a film that isn't that bad seems so much worse because you put a big fat ugly lens over the message before we even got to see it. Brie Larson with "White men shouldn't be watching my movies." Oh really? Patrick Stewart, this is all about Trump and 9/11 and how crap our world is and how lame Next Gen was for being so smashy and nicey and nothing ever bad happened in that.
I'm 6 years old. Weak and helpless. You cannot hurt me.
Oh, looks like you're having a grand time there, Picard. And Ewan McGregor, it's all about misogyny and everyday misogyny. Okay, I haven't seen Birds of Prey yet, but you did help inflict Phantom Menace on us, you donut, so sod you, Renton. And Cameron, it's a feminist Terminator. Will you lot just shut up? God, Ricky Gervais was so right. In this case, say your lines, collect your check, and fuck off.
Humans, you are the enemy of Skynet. I mean Legion. You must be terminated.
So that was Dark Fate. The franchise never really pulled out of a nosedive after Judgment Day. We got some nice quirks here and there, some occasional thrills and mild surprises, but nothing close to the power of the originals. Maybe Cameron just wanted to try and finish the saga on less of a turd than Genesis and sweep that one out of the back of the truck. Terminator 1 was a groundbreaking, amazing film and is Cameron's favourite film because, as he says, it was the one where he was still basically working as a truck driver. Terminator 2 was a blockbuster amongst blockbusters, and deservedly so. As usual for Cameron, the director's cut added some excellent stuff that made it even better. There's a great deal of nostalgia around these first two movies, along with all the games and comics that were associated with it, so Dark Fate is a fairly nice plate of member berries. So, Terminator Dark Fate, not Terminator, not Judgment Day, but hey, it's not Genesis. I'd rewatch it, but probably wouldn't buy it. Thanks for watching. If you want to hear more mewling about movies, click subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Toodles.